Queste macchine sculptor serios,
È mica, no?
E mica, quindi si
Vero.
It is a nightmare to like unbox it, and the biggest nightmare is to package them back up.
Face câte bucăți, câte cutii ai, nu știu, 100 de cutii?
Cred că sunt 100.
Da,
Dar atunci aduc cutiile din Ungaria.
Bun, hai să ne apucăm de adus
Exact, hai să ne apucăm.
All right, well, I'm Vlad, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. I guess when I was about 13, wait, was I 13? No, I was younger, I was 9. I was 9, that's in 1986, I started working with clay. I visited a village of potters in Romania, and the reason I remember that is that the day the master, Victor Victoriano, gave me the clay, that the same night there was a big earthquake in Romania. That's how I remember. So it's funny because actually I was born right after an earthquake, so this earthquake connection in my life. At that time, I was also interested in archaeology. It was kind of hard to decide whether I would pursue archaeology or the arts. I kept working with clay, and I was mostly interested in figurative work at that time and looking at prehistoric works for inspiration. So I grew up in Romania, and then when I was 17 I moved to the States, to Alaska. I mean, the landscape always played a role in inspiring me. As far as education, actually I was very lucky to have some young, very inspirational professors there. It was a really good experience. We learned how to fire kilns, and I mean, a ceramics artist without knowing how to fire kilns is not really a ceramic artist, because the firing part is like the way you complete the work. This one here that we're inside right now is called Books of Memory, and it's part of the Archaeology of Memory series. This has been a series of installations that started in 2015, and the idea was that previously I was looking at how the clay book was a way of showing how knowledge falls apart, and this idea of futility and how knowledge is in a way really hard to be saved and conserved. And then my shift went also showing the need for conservation and for trying to save knowledge. I was playing with this juxtaposition between the destruction of knowledge and the need to save it. So that's how the fired books came about. Most of these books are earthenware, clay that I dug up from various parts of Romania, predominantly from the south, near Bucharest, from old pottery communities. They're fired, most of them in traditional Romanian wood kiln, which is like a pretty much low temperature kiln. It was very difficult to reach 960 degrees. I think also the space is just like pieces of a puzzle, but the space is very important to me, and space and light. I have to take into consideration all these aspects. I came here and visited the museum when the work of Abakanovic was here, and I was impressed. And actually it's an honor to be back in this space where such a celebrated artist was here before, and also they had showed her clay work down here. In the other room we have shards of memory installation, and they're actually the shards, the fragments of books falling apart throughout some of the installations I've done, especially the ones outdoors. And even though, let's say, the shards themselves from the other installation, they also have meaning, because shards talk about something that came apart, and then it's also an exercise of memory, of trying to put it back together. And it's similar to how memory works, where we forget things, but then we try to reimagine them, and then we try to put them back together. When I went to Moldova, we were with 2 large vans, and we also had clay, like Romanian soil from Transylvania and from Wallachia, and mixed it with Moldovan soil. But it was interesting because we had to go through customs, and it was quite an experience. I wish I could have filmed it. Okay, so this work is from the Folding Memory series. I developed it in China in 2019. It was part of a big exhibition I had, also entitled Folding Memory, and that was at the China Ceramics Museum in Jingdezhen. This particular piece I made in Hungary last year in Kecskemét at the International Ceramics Studio, and it's meant to be a manifestation of my energy, the energy of the making. When I work with these particular slabs, the clay was very wet, and I wanted to be very spontaneous movement that was captured. In a way, they kind of talk about it like a landscape, but I want it to be like a landscape of memory.
E pe dreapta, nu? Sau de aici, nu? Asta e întrebarea.
The support for the work, I want it to be, in a way, an integral part of the work. So I made them specifically for each piece. I don't want it to be just a standard base. So that's why I made it on purpose, because I think it should be thought of from the beginning, how you should show the work. They each contribute to like a larger sense of the idea. It's going to hold water and reflect. As a matter of fact, we could put water right now. Hey, young man. That's what they used to call me in America, older guys. Now I feel like the old one. I think it's going to be more than one. Oh, that's interesting. Oh yeah, now we're talking. That's good. You can see the reflection very nicely. Wow, that's beautiful. The piece, once it starts absorbing water, it's going to look darker. Part of it will be darker. That's awesome. No, that's the best angle right now. I can't wait to put water in the other one too. What I want, the reflection is actually a continuation of the piece, so it actually makes it more dynamic. So I don't want the piece to look like that, I want it to be like moving. All right, let's go downstairs. You know, it's quite an honor to be part of this exhibition, the Secret Wing, and being part of this art encounters. I love Timișoara, and I mean, it's great to be here, and I see this city like flourishing. It's like really developing at a very fast pace.